I have spoken extensively about Status Quo compilations on this podcast. There are just so many of them, aren't there? From official ones like Accept No Substitute, Access All Areas, Whatever You Want, The Best of Status Quo, Rocking All Over the Years, 12 Gold Bars. And then there are also those sort of unofficial ones, the ones that occasionally get put into the bargain bin at supermarkets back in the day, such as all those pie compilations and various other things that have been licensed out for small-scale release. As I am discovering through my research, there are occasions when these albums make the official UK album chart. A couple of examples from the 1970s include The Best of Status Quo from around 1973, and also Down the Dustpipe from a short time later, both of which dealt with pie material. Now, 20 years ago, this phenomenon happened again, slightly before their appearance on Coronation Street and before their album, The Party Ain't Over Yet, and subsequent DVD was released. That album, it was a triple album called Now and Then, which essentially is a compilation, kind of billed as a greatest hits, I guess, but it's not. It contains some of those hits, some of them re-recorded, some of them original, and cover versions from the free covers albums up to 2005. It was released by Crimson via Demon Music Group. They're connected, and is split into 3 volumes. Now, when I first saw this, it reminded me of the Essential Status Quo from the 90s, but that was more of a back in the day kind of a compilation with album tracks mixing in amongst singles. It's definitely one if you're looking at discovering both sides of the Status Quo catalogue. This is a little bit more of a mixed bag, but it reached 49 in the UK album charts for 1 week. What is on it? Well, Volume 1 contains the following tracks: Rockin' All Over the World, which is from Riffs, Caroline from Riffs, Down Down, the original recording, Roll Over Lay Down, the original recording, and then cover versions including Rockin' Me, Fun Fun Fun, Don't Bring Me Down, Lucille, Memphis, Tennessee, Roll Over Beethoven, Born to Be Wild, Hound Dog, Tobacco Road, Taking Care of Business, Sweet Home Chicago, Run Around Sue, Rave On, Pump It Up. You get the impression. It's just a smattering from Don't Stop, Riffs, and Famous in the Last Century. Then on Volume 2, we have Whatever You Want, which is the re-recorded version from Riffs, and then the Anniversary Waltz, Part 1, In the Army Now, Down the Dustpipe, Crawling from the Wreckage, Don't Stop, Do It Again from Heavy Traffic, for some reason, All Stand Up, Never Say Never, which was a single from Heavy Traffic, All Day and All of the Night, All Around My Hat, Claudette, Centerfold, Get Back, Good Golly Miss Molly, I Fought the Law, I Can Hear the Grass Grow, Johnny and Mary, and Junior's Wailing, which I haven't heard it, but I'm going to assume at this point it's from Riffs. Volume 3 contains Something About You Baby I Like, Paper Plane, Mystery Song, What You're Proposing, which I think are all original recordings, and then Heavy Traffic, Mony Mony, Old Time Rock and Roll, On the Road Again, Proud Mary, Way Down, Safety Dance, Future So Bright, Gotta Wear Shades, Raining in My Heart featuring Brian May, When I'm Dead and Gone, You Can Tell, Teenage Wedding, Wild One, When You Walk in the Room, and then finally, the hit single from 2002, Jam Side Down. So that is all the tracks that are featured on this compilation. What does it tell you about Quo as a band? If you just listen to this, it kind of gives you the impression that they had a few singles in the 70s, early 80s, and then just recorded covers for the next 30 years. That isn't what happened, but that's what this gives the impression of. I would imagine what's happened there is the fandom have all bought it for their collections, and then other people have walked into their local supermarket, or at that time, Woolworths or WH Smith, and what they've done is look down the track listing and go, oh, I know a fair few of these songs. It's almost the method of the covers albums, isn't it? Where you look on the back and you know the songs, and you're more likely to buy it if you know the songs, regardless of the band. And so that's probably what's happened there, in my opinion. I actually know some people who have this, and they listen to it because they know I do this podcast. This is the only thing I believe that they have. And they said to me, they said, oh, I never realized they did all these songs. And it's like, yeah, because it's from the covers albums from the mid-90s to mid-2000s. It doesn't really represent where they are or have been as a band. Plus the fact that around this time, there was also another compilation that came out called Got You Covered, which was very overt about the fact that there were cover versions on there. This doesn't really say anything other than 54 original rocking classics, which kind of gives you the impression it's from the entirety of their career, but actually it only spans about 10 years and 3 albums and a few other bits besides. So, yeah, there's a bit of marketing going on there. But I think if you were looking for, say, an album to put on at a party, perhaps someone who doesn't know Quo too much, maybe this is something where, again, Famous in the Last Century and stuff were recorded as sort of party albums where you could put it on and they just kind of roll into another and you know all the songs. This, by extension, works in very much the same way, I think. So that is Status Quo, Now and Then, released 20 years ago and charted as well. Have you got this? And what do you make of it? Do let me know all your thoughts on this compilation and the material on it in the comments below.